Here's the thing, you guys, is when you are talking to customers, the number one thing you want to be is confident. Okay. And if you are uneducated, the less likely you are going to be to want to talk about these products with people. I know that had been something that held me back in talking about our skincare before, because I felt like I didn't know the full benefits of things. And so for me, wanting to educate people about it felt like it was a little bit off center. And so I wanted to go ahead and get above and get ahead of this launch, right? We just came out with it. And I was like, if I want to know this stuff, I know our team wants to know this stuff too. And so making sure that you guys are getting educated and getting some tips and strategy for how we can promote this, right? Like, what are some things that we can be doing to let people know about it without word vomiting? Okay, that's something that I was really bad at with the other line, because I was like, oh, I don't know all this stuff, but here's all the info that you'll ever need, and it would overwhelm people. So we are going to hear from an expert herself, Trayce. She is my girl. I love her. And Trayce, can you just kind of give everybody a background of how you got started in the business, and then a little bit of your background in the beauty industry as well?
Okay. Hey, good evening, everybody. So for me, I started in the business. So I have been an entrepreneur. I've been in the beauty industry for 20 years. And when I came into the business, it had everything to do with product. So I had been asked for 5 years to come in, and I was like, I don't see how a business like this could change my life at $25. Like, I just could not fathom, I couldn't see it. So when I came on in, I needed to, number one, especially since my background is in education, it's in, actually, I don't know if you know this, Kelsey, but I went to school for sales and marketing and psych first. That was my background. So I was like, okay, let me get in here and actually see this. And when I started using the products, I was like, okay, it didn't take me long. I was like, okay, if this can do this, I can do something with it because I could push it. And so when I first came into the business, I'll say the first week I was very skeptical. I didn't want to do anything yet. And then when I saw it moving, I was like, okay, let me get up. I needed to make sure, number one, it hit my account. I am a red. If you know what my personality is, I need to just make sure my money hit my account. It does. Okay, and if I put a little bit more effort into it, will it make me more money? Boom, it does. Okay, let's go. And I want to say that was probably the first couple weeks on in. I got in. The next month, I triple promoted. I went diamond in probably 8 or 9 weeks. 2 months later, 3 months later, maybe I went double diamond. And then I did the faux pas. So I want y'all to know. Oh, so I'm gonna let y'all know I did the thing that you shouldn't do. I did start listening to people. Like, so I've never even really shared. I started listening to people, going, "Are you sure? Is this okay?" And it made me start looking backwards instead of frontwards. And I slowed my butt on up. And then after conference, I was like, wait a minute. I know what I have my hands on. I need to just start doing what I do. And then 2 months later after that, went triple diamond. And so when they launched, I was even in a space, and I kind of partially shared with Kelsey, when they launched, I used our skincare line. Especially too, I'm in trichology, so I know our vitamin works just for certain principles that it had in it. And so when they launched this and I saw that they had more, I was like, okay, it changed the whole face of my business. Like, I have a huge following. I have over 30,000 followers on my Instagram. But when I came into the business, but I wanted y'all to know, I did not build this business on Instagram. I built it on Facebook. And I left my Instagram page alone for about a freaking year, like just half a posting, because I didn't know how to tie the two. Like, I was like, how do I come back and tell all these beauty professionals who's watch me with celebs and hair and all of this, come lose some weight? Like, I had such a hard time and struggling with it. And now, just within the short period of time that now I've connected it, I came back, I started using it, connecting all the principles. Like, I'm super excited for my next level, my next season, which will be Prez, just because I understand. But I'll tell you, one of my huge claims to being in it's not the fact that my background was in sales and marketing. It was in the fact that I believed in what I did. Number one, I tell every new person that comes on in, don't find a product that you like, find a product that you love. And then when you love it and you're confident about it and you can just keep talking, like it will radiate across the phone, through the room, like your lives, your everything. So I know as me and Kelsey were having a conversation, it was like, I really want to, help people in this area. I'll share with you my age. I'm 41 years old. And I take care of my skin. I take care of my hair. I want to keep it this way. But then people think that it's only, like, even now, they're kind of saying it's aging. And then I constantly stop that, because at 13 years old, I have a 14-year-old, 16-year-old, and 19-year-old. And my 14 and my 16-year-old, I am on their skin. My husband and my son, I'm on their skin. And if you find somebody that's 25, the skin starts to age backwards. So all these things that we're doing, if you could really think about what you have on, like, this business is you're in $1 billion industry, right? Like, I remember the reason why I came into hair, because it was like, well, why are you shifting into hair? You have a background here. And I was like, because it's $1 trillion industry and I want $1. So in this industry, I was like, okay, so the way that they shift, like, I really want you to understand from any question or whatever we talk about, like, what you really have your hands on, because beauty is internal, external. So, like, even now with hair, skin, and nails, like, I have certain packages where I'm partnering it with antioxidants, like, which is huge. But if you understood it, what it really is doing, it's not just about looking younger. It's about your skin texture. Like, I don't know about you, if you wear makeup, it makes your makeup look better. If you're taking care of internal, external, makeup artists are thinking about ways to clean brushes. This cleans brushes. Like, it has so many functionalities. So I just really want to be here tonight to help you to understand how you could really utilize it, like, and take it to the max, and not just think about, like, I know you may hear from me, my title or what I did, but it's really, I got the same thing you're doing. I just love it. I use it. I'm in a hotel right now. It's in my hotel room. I will be talking about it. That is what's going to really, really help and push you.
I love it. And I can just, like, feel your passion coming through, and, like, it's so fun, that we have you on here, just because I know this is your passion just by the way you talk about it, which makes it fun for me too, to learn about it. So I want everybody to put in the comments, what skin type you think that you have. Is it oily? Is it greasy? Greasy and oily are like the same thing. Is it dry? Is it combination? Do you have blemishes? What are you worried about? Like, are you worried about breakouts? Are you worried about dark spots? Are you worried about any of that? And I would love for you, Trayce, to kind of talk about some of these things where somebody said oily, sensitive, acne prone, not cute.
I know. I went, oh my gosh. That's the one I saw.
So anyways, I would love for you to kind of almost talk to us, just so we can get a feel for how you would talk to customers a little bit. And I know I'm talking to you on the spot, but I think that would be so helpful for me too, just to feel like, okay, if I have somebody who has oily, sensitive skin that's acne prone, what do I recommend to them, and why am I recommending those things to them? That would be super helpful. And I also want to know about the dark spots too.
Yeah. So, okay, get your pen and pad. I know you're going to be able to do it, but get your pen and pad, because I'm going to go through all of the ones. But I'm going to tell you something first. So, as me teaching artists, so in L'Oreal, my job was to train the trainer. My job was to teach people how to use products. Like, that was my freaking job. So now, one thing that I'm going to tell you is, you cannot solve, first of all, remember this, you cannot solve a problem that you don't understand what problem you're solving. So when you first go into talking to people, you have to understand what they want to accomplish. No talking. No, this is what the product, no features, no, none of that. You want to understand. So tell me about your skin. You want to hear, is it oily? Is it dry? Is it combination? Just what you just did. Is it acne prone? What is it? What skincare products do you use right now? What do you use? Let them tell you. Now, I tell all of my team, I'm writing these things down. as you're talking, because guess what? The most irritating thing to anybody is to have to keep repeating themselves. It is. It's like, you're not listening to me. How could you solve? You don't even remember my name. So how? So here's your first connection is listening. First connection is listen. So, okay, now you using these products. Here's my favorite question. Why? Why? Why did they choose Dermalogica? Why did they choose Neutrogena? You're going to shock. You're going to hear when people say, oh, my friend did it, or this or whatever. You have to know who you're dealing with. And I'll tell you this. In this area, you'll find your color tone in this answer to why. Because, oh, well, it smells good. Or you'll hear the person that says, oh, because it had glycolic acid, it has here. You're going to hear the color, like if they start doing that, they're information. If they start talking about money, they're red. If they start talking about all type of feelings, they're yellow. If they're really excitable, most people think I'm blue. I'm not. I'm just happy. I'm a happy red. I like to make money. So, and I am. So when you start hearing blue, you want to know they're partiers. Oh, where do you go out? Like, you want to be able to connect. So that why, you got to listen before you say anything. Why did you choose that one? And then here is another. What are you looking to accomplish? These are not the same questions. What are you looking to accomplish with your skincare? Write them down. Now, after you write everything down, what you want to do is then go forth and say, now, what I heard you to say was, and yes, I'm teaching you some sales, but these are tactics you can use with hair, skin, and nails, all the way up to Thermophyte X. So what I heard you to say was, you have oily skin. You use Neutrogena because your friend referred it to you. And you really want to clear up these breakouts, but you don't know if you're using the right thing. Is that what you said? Is that what did I hear that correctly? See, once you get when they say yes, they have a buy-in. Now they're going to listen to you to what you say. So what you say. So that's how you just preference everything in which you start. So oily skin. Oily skin is interesting. Oily skin is overproduction of sebum.
Sorry, I'm listening to you so much, but
Sure.
I'm thinking about this because I sometimes I have a mixed audience when it comes to race. Do you think that certain products are better for African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, Caucasian people, and how does that translate to our product line?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that, because you don't even know that I'm the perfect person to ask this to. You have no idea. You want to know why? Because a lot of times people market things to people in accordance to demographic, but what you don't know that I know is it's the same product. It's the same company that makes it with the same formula and markets them two different ways. Shut up, right? I know this. So it's even to me why one of the reasons why I was so passionate about my hair care line, because guess what? There's no such thing. Now there is a such thing as melanin in skin. So listen to why I'm telling you this, because there are some Indians that are darker than me. So what you want to treat is the pigmentation in the skin. Don't go to African American versus Indian versus here. You want to go with pigmentations of skin. Beautiful thing about what we have, so we can talk here. It works for all freaking pigmentations of skin. Oh my God, like I could get behind that. I'm so excited I was so nervous when they launched it, like, oh God, is this going to be one of those? You want to know why? Because all skin needs to be hydrated and it needs to be in the right pH level. I don't care where you are. So just to even further this for you, think about this. You go to your physician, you get taken care of. But then when you have your ankle issue, you go here. You have your women issue, you go to gynae. It's the same thing in skin. So what I want you to do is not think that I have to be an expert to do this, because you don't. What you need to know is that you have a basic skincare line that works for multiple textures. multiple, it works for dry, oily, and normal skin. And then I'm going to teach you how to get around the, well, my skin is acne prone, or I have this, or like those are specialties. Every skincare system, even in there, has to have a basic line and then specialties. So we're right in basic line with some really good principles, like really good principles that are actually like on the more high end side when it comes to the ingredient list.
So what I heard you say was, no, but seriously, because use the word basic, and I think a lot of people, when they think basic, they think less than good. Does that make sense?
I know.
But just so I can clarify for everybody, when you say basic, you mean like a baseline, like
baseline.
It is literally the fundamentals, right? It's like,
yes, it's your fundamental skincare. Like, think makeup. Okay, so we need foundation, we need mascara, you need what? You need a blush. Guess what? Highlighter and bronzers and all of that. That's like outside of my realm. I don't know how to do those. Those are extra. And that's what I mean by here. That's extra. Everything else in your skincare will be extra, but the thing that makes it so on point, and so this is the part that I really want to drive home for you, and maybe you should read a couple of the articles. Butcherol, and I could be saying it wrong because she said it. I think you're saying it. Ashwagandha, hyaluronic acid. Oh, these are expensive. Like those ingredients by themselves make our basic line, like it just took it up a notch. So where we were in our old, I almost want to think about our old line as being very basic, very baseline. It could clean your skin. You know, it was really, really good. You can use it on your body. But when they added these ingredients, they actually put it in the spa category. Because these are things that, you know, like I would go get a facial for the hyaluronic acid or a brightening facial, or like I would go get these things. And so now I don't have to necessarily go add it into a serum format. I get to put it into my skin every single day. So, and also too, the retinol, like now going into the, into a plant derivative, a lot, like if you go look at oil of Olay, let's just not even go into the beauty count. Let's go look there. Because oil of Olay, actually there is, and I'm going to think of it. There is a professional line that is pretty much oil of Olay. And I'm going to think of it in a sense. But they came up with the drugstore format and then the higher end format of the actual same product. I'll think of it'll hit my brain. But what they did was just, I mean, I don't want to overdo what I'm saying, but they really upgraded. They gave you like the baseline middle. Like here's your spa high-end products, here's your low-end. Like we sit right in the middle. And where it comes for, how many of you all have had facials? Do you have facials? No. I want everybody to go right and get a facial so you can see what I'm saying. So you can understand. Okay, I see some hands. Come on, if you haven't, you need to. Because I'm gonna tell y'all this. My facials, and I just said this on her live, my facials cost more than our whole 30-day system. It is so worth it. It's so worth it. So even for me, like when I go get my facials, and I didn't say this on the live, but when I go get my facials, I take our product. And they're like, hey, well, because they're always trying to sell you something after. And I'd be like, okay, what you could do is you can pick from here and you can tell me how to maintain it from here. You know, and they're always, where'd you get this from? How much is this? They're always very shocked that I have these things in this format. Okay, yeah, so it's really good in that format. Now, you ready for me to talk types?
Yes.
Okay, so normal skin can use, and I'm visual, I can't help it, y'all. Normal skin can use refresh, protect, and repair, and radiance. I'll get into hair, skin, and nails after. It can use it in the order. So you want to wash your face in the morning. Then you want to use protect. And you can go. This is normal skin. And it can go. And then in the evening time, It can use and this is normal skin. You can use anywhere between 1 to 4 drops. I would suggest for normal skin, you got to build up. It's like with your foundation. You do not want to start out with 4 drops and then that person has an oily face. Somebody who has normal face and gets oily face is going to be really, they're going to tell you it's too heavy. So you want to tell them to think about their foundation and build it up and use 1 drop and a pea size. So I'm going to teach you something about products that most people do not know. The spout pour of product tells you how much to use. You just don't realize it. So if you see that wide space, that's probably about a quarter. So the spout is telling you how much you should use. A droplet being skinny at the end, it only needs a little bit. Also too, in here in the product, how it is, you want to use a pea size. See how little it is? Yeah. It's all telling you something. See, when they first started doing products, it was only with professionals. And then they started putting stuff on out and they forgot those education pieces. And so people don't know and they're doing like, and it's like, it's not necessary. Like it doesn't last. Well, look how little it is. This is a 30-day supply. So it should only be a pea size. And then you build in accordance to what you need. But it's a pea size. Okay, so it is the spout. That's on all beauty products, just so you know. Even your shampoos and your conditioners, if it's in a jar, it's in a jar for a reason. Your whole hand isn't supposed to be in it. Because I see people doing like this, and I'm like, no, baby, go get a spatula. But you just don't know. You just have no idea. It's all in the sizes for a reason. So that's normal, okay? Now, when we start going into dry skin,
hey, real quick, can you also touch on like exfoliating peel, like the other products that necessarily?
Are they gonna keep that? Can somebody tell me before I start educating?
I really don't. I haven't heard anything about exfoliating peel. I heard something about like toner eventually.
Yeah, because this is a toner too.
So that's what I heard is like eventually toner will, like the spray toner will be.
But is lip and eye cream leaving?
I have not heard anything about that, but that doesn't mean it's not.
Can somebody at a meeting tell them don't touch the lip and eye cream? So let me tell you why. The lip and eye cream, so you heard me say my age, 40, 41. So when I first came in here, I was 39. And when I first came on in, I was starting to sag in my eyes. And that was really frustrating. So I would have to try to hit. I was like, oh, y'all take like all the selfies in this company. We hitting, and it was giving me a freaking complex. So somebody told me to try the lip and eye cream. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to do something because I hated people taking my picture straight on. So within the first 30 days, and if you see how I'm going, I would do this in the morning, this here, and then I would start to come underneath in my face. If you see now, like I am fine. And that's how I don't even know why it has not been in my stories. I don't know. Anybody who knows, like I'll be on a meeting sitting here doing like this. I'm in my car sitting here doing like this. Lip and eye cream is an extra plumper. It's very soft. You ever walked up on somebody with makeup and it's very cakey in this area? What that's telling you is they have poor hydration in this area. And it's very thin. And you have to be, here's another thing. Our refresh can be used in this area where most soaps you can't. They'll tell you to stay away from your eye. So with the chamomile and the green tea and everything, the agents that it's doing in this product, and it's soapless, I can use this with the lip and eye cream. Now, chemical peel. So I'm not going to, there is, how do I say this? Chemical peel is a product except dry may have the best results with. Dry skin, you need a lot of moisture to use chemical peel. You just do, because I don't know if you've used it before, I probably would say you probably burn. You'll probably feel like a light tingle that's on the product. And that's because what it's doing is, and most people don't realize this, so if you do not have a skin regimen, or if you never had one before, what you don't know is your skin you get dead skin every single day. And so if you're not scrubbing and taking that layer off, like I have people that'll get a facial and then there'll be a whole nother shade. And they're like, how did that happen? And I'm like, girl, that was on that dead skin that you ain't never got taken off your face. How you feel about that one, right? So I always tell people that's what exfoliators and peels
Girl,
are.
I just blame it on my spray tan. I'd say, hey, that was my spray tan. They took it off.
See, I can't go there. It's like, what's happening? So our peel, that's, I would say in dry skin, you just want to be careful.
Or sensitive skin, would you be careful?
Or sensitive skin, you want to be very, very careful. So you want to tell someone, and this is just from layman terms, like this is what I would suggest that you do is try it in a small area. Has anybody ever had like an allergy test, or they tell you just to try or dab in a specific area? Used to suggest, you know what I want you to do? Try a small area of your face. See how it feels. How do you like that? For me, I'm big on, you know how we send out samples of, I send out samples of this because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Like, test this, put this in this area, see if it's actually working. And that's only if I hear somebody who tells me they're very concerned because they've had other reactions before. So I always tell everybody, don't act as a professional. If you're not, say, try it. That's what we do in the sip and sample. Try it. How do you like this? Do you like how that felt? Like, I like the little small granules that are in there so it's not so scratchy. I heard you talk about that, so it's not so scratchy. But you do have to exfoliate off your dead skin cells off your face. You just kind of do. Dry is one of those only things that I will say, dry skin and our peel, you got to be a little careful. I would definitely tell them to try it. But normal, especially oily skin actually would benefit a lot from our chemical peel. I would say for me, like me and my esthetician came up with, and I'm normal to oily in my T-zone, which is here. I'm normal to oily in there. And she tells me to every other day, not in this area, but definitely every other day in my T-zone with the oily area. And it's not the same at all. So remember I said, I told them, I don't recommend me anything outside of what's in my bag. And, and then I use it. And I'm just going to give you a short tip on the reason why of that. Okay. You're in a business now. You're a brand ambassador for a company. As many products that you have in your business, if you could take them and switch them out for other things and use them. If you do that, you want to make money off of everything you use. That's the red in me. So if we have skincare, you don't use another skincare. We have keto, you don't use another. You don't use another. The more that you do in your area, that's how you'll make your money.
I'm like literally mind blown. I've literally never thought of just exfoliating my T-zone. Like,
oh, yeah.
Or honestly, this is something that maybe some of us can relate to. I actually break out more on this side of my face because that's where I hold my phone.
Yes.
And I think like a bunch of dirt, and it's
this is why you need, and I'm just, this is gonna be like, I'm gonna be y'all everybody big sister. Y'all go get y'all one of these. Stop putting that phone in your face because you will break out from it. And it's also to the rays, the blue light that's coming into your skin. You're gonna break out from it. So yeah, get you an earpiece because it's nasty. If you put it under a light, you'll see how many microbes are actually on it or what your face is actually coming in contact with. So okay. I know when you start thinking of it like that, though, after today, you will think about, and if you heard today, okay, so if you listen to today and then you couple that with going to go use it with what you hear, when you hear something foreign to what you just heard, you'll immediately go, oh no, I heard that the other day. You have to do this because of, it'll just immediately start coming off of you. And the more you do it, the more, you see how right now I'm convincing everybody to go get an earphone, get you an earpiece. Like if you do that, that's how easy it'll become.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, I love that. Okay. So let's say if you have normal skin, you would suggest how often doing the exfoliating peel?
If you have normal skin, I will say try it like once a week.
Okay.
Once a week, and just try and see. If you'll notice after using it once a week, a texture change in your face. If you're not noticing a texture change, then you're moving to twice a week. Because what you're trying to do is go to smooth. Just think about how you're buffering your nails, or you have a fresh wax. You're going for that texture change. Sometimes people think they have to live in the skin that they're in. in this capacity. No, my skin is extra, it's tough, it's tight. No, you can actually change that by skincare. Like you can get soft, supple skin if you are, number one, ingesting the right things to be able to detox out the body. So that cleanse to be, if you're serious about skincare, all I'm doing is talk about people who are serious about skincare today. So if you're serious about skincare, then you need to be taking a cleanse once a month. Like you need to be detoxing out, especially cycle time. I'm talking to majority women, right? Okay. So cycle time cleanse, natural, going through, and then using skincare on top of it. It's like I've just changed. So one of the other textures,
I'm like literally having so many aha moments, which is why I'm because I feel like it, like you're so right. Like so many people are like, oh, well, I have acne prone skin, or oh, I have this. It's like, it's the same as weight, right? Like
yes.
you don't have to, like, you don't have to be fat. Like you don't have to have acne. And a lot of
actually, that's just an infection. So your pores are infected. And so if you're not properly cleaning out those pores, if number one, what you're ingesting, sometimes it's food. Sometimes what you're ingesting is actually having a reaction and it comes out into the pores, into the face. And then if you're breaking the skin, you're just you're infecting the topical area. And then people go, oh, I just had acne. Well, I'll tell y'all, let me short, because I don't want to tell a long portion. My face used to be full of acne, like full, to the point where I remember my mom had people come pray over my face. And I remember I was crying and she thought that that was like, oh, Jesus. No, I'm embarrassed. You have people here praying over my face. So I'm going to tell you, and even now seeing my teens go through it, so I'm combating it now. Whereas if my mom didn't know what to tell me, she was just like, oh, it's your hormones. Well, yeah, can we get them things under control so I can stop?
I feel that on a spiritual level even right now.
Yeah, like we can get this under control. So don't let anybody, this is what we think. It's the same way when people want to lose weight. You ever heard somebody tell you over the phone they can't lose weight? Guys, I thought like that, even for weight loss coming in the company. I was a size 22, 24. And I thought I couldn't lose weight. Like it was not possible. And I kept telling, you are the story you keep saying. So I kept saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it. And it was just a lie. It was all in my head. You can't do what you don't think. So when it comes to skincare, it's the same. They'll be like, oh, this is just what I have. No, this is where you are now, but let's work on it. You know, like let's work on it. And then it could definitely get better. So I'm going to touch on something that we haven't touched on, which is dry skin. So I saw you have a lot of dry skins here. Okay, guess what? That facial mask is for you. It is not for me. It is not for oily skin. The facial mask that we have. You know what I mean? Not the wrap, but the actual facial. You would see so many benefits. That thing right there is very hydrating. It tightens up the skin. It's really, really good. So I would actually add that to this regimen if you have dry skin. That facial mask is amazing for dry skin. Now, dry skin needs radiance in protect, and it needs radiance in repair. If you all listen, y'all could take y'all butts all the way to the top of the company if you could fix dry skin, because people with dry skin my daughter has dry, and I give her the mask, and I'm telling you, it's just like, Mom, get some of that stuff. She's to be 16 next week. You got some of the stuff? Like I have crack. And it's because it's the only thing, like dry skin gets really irritated. It's itchy. It's not the best. I've seen some, and sometimes people get to scratching or anything they do, it causes marks, so it causes pigmentation in the skin. So it can be really, really frustrating for people with dry skin. So I'll tell you, we got that. We have for dry skin, I'm not going to say it doesn't work good for normal, so don't hear me this way. But Jesus, all the hydrating principles we have for dry skin. Okay.
Yeah. So do you think sometimes, and this is just a question for myself, but do you think sometimes people who have super oily skin are actually dry, like over I don't know, overcompensating, like with
It
like
can be.
their body is
Yeah.
like overcompensating for the oil, like they're overproducing oil because they're
Yes, the over reproduction of oil. It could be something too in diet.
okay.
You know, totally could be something in their diet. And then also too, the pores are clogged. You know, so those are huge, huge issues for people. So cleaning it often, especially oily skin. I tell oily skin, and they may not want to hear it, but you need to wash your face 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. And it's like, well, ooh, that's a lot. Do you want the oily skin? No. Great. So wash your face in the morning, afternoon, and evening. It's like it's the answer to your problem.
Yeah, it's so good. So
Let's open this. One second.
you're fine.
I had the latch. No, my sister's here and I had the latch locked on the door for her. I know, I had the door latch locked.
So for dry skin, you would still recommend like all the things that we said. The only difference is you're adding the facial mask and you're adding radiance, not just to repair, but you're adding radiance to protect as well.
Yes, because they need moisture. Still start out with 1 drop because you got to see how dry, like there's levels to dry skin.
Right.
So you still want to do 1 drop. And then if they're like, it's still dry, let's go to 2.
Okay. Mixed reviews on this question. Washcloth or no washcloth when you're washing your face?
Oh, I'm a cloth girl.
Okay.
However, it's not now what you want to look into, and this is just technical, like you don't want something that's harsh or abrasive, like the towel itself.
Right.
So I'll forget how many threads I have, but I do know I use a high thread count just so it's very soft and it's not scratchy. I do have, I'm funny about that too. But that's because I care. And I'm not saying anybody doesn't, but I know to care. So I'll go, oh, this is kind of too harsh. Like it's acting as an exfoliator on my face. That's not cool. So a higher thread count for my face is huge. They even now have those makeup cloths. They feel really good. They're pink. You see them in Ulta, Sephora. You can use them for your makeup. Desiree, you can come in. You can use them for your makeup. I see it down there like, hey, can I come in? You can use it for your makeup, and those are really, really good. Like if you see just the consistency of them. But the reason why I say cloth and not is because now I actually did a year ago with our old skincare, a live on this one, is I only wash my face with white cloths so I can see. You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for dirt. So as I'm washing my face, I can get a chance to see. And when you're washing your face, most people stop here. It's to here. It's all in these areas and where you're actually cleansing your skin. Your neck is a part of it too as well. And I'm washing to see. Like, oh, okay. So like me, I know 2 times it takes to get the oil off my face. My daughter, sometimes we have to half pee, the dry skin half pee down. But my daughter who's acne prone, we have to do 3. So do you see how it's the same skincare? The regimen is altered.
Yeah, so good.
So the regimen is altered.
Yeah, that's so good. And do you also have to be careful like if you're using like a fragrance detergent and washing those washcloths too?
If that's only if you have acne prone skin.
Okay.
If you have some type of inflammation or you really should be washing with no fragrances. Like that should be just separate. And then also too, so here's another woman thing. If you have that on your face, 9 times out of 10, that should be your lingerie too. Like it's traveling throughout your entire body. It's not just here. So you probably should remove that from your clothes. If you ever seen those drawstrings where you can wash your attire, your lingerie all in one individual bag. If you're noticing it on your face, 9 times out of 10, it should be just carried throughout how you're taking care of yourself.
Love this. This is also good too, like just to make us more educated when we're talking to clients as well on everything, you know, because you might have the best products in the world, but if somebody is not knowing how to use them,
that's huge. Yes.
Not knowing the basics. Okay. So oily skin, would you still suggest radiance?
Oily skin, I'm going to need you to be careful. Yes, I still do. However, only at night. And then watch how when they wake up, are they extra too, like if they wake up glazed face and they don't like that, then this is something they need to diminish down. Like you still need it, the hyaluronic acid, you need it because they're going to need moisture in their skin, but you just want to start going down in how much you're using. So like a half a pea size in the moisture. What I like to do is put it in the moisture. So don't dab, like tell them don't dab their face and then use moisturizer. It's too much because think about the hyaluronic acid is allowing you to have an additional 1,000 of moisture. So all these drops on their face plus this is going to make them very oily just because of how they're using it. But if you dab it in there, like on your finger, and you dab it and you put it on, it'll travel because the liquid is going to help it to spread.
Mm-hmm.
But at night, so when they go to sleep, your face loses moisture. So yes, in the evening time, they should use it. They should try it. But I like to tell people, here is what potentially, yes, I want you to use it at night, and I want you to see how your face is in the morning. If you find you're okay, we're going to stay with this regimen. If at nighttime you wake up and you don't like it, we're going to come down. We're going to use like half a pea size.
Love it.
Until we find what works for you.
Love it. Okay. So one thing, you guys, I'm just going to reiterate, and then I'm going to kind of like do some fastball questions for you. One thing I want to reiterate to you guys is this is what she kind of coached me on our live video. If you guys didn't watch it, that we just did on Facebook, but this is a great starter set. And it doesn't mean that they'll ever need to upgrade. Okay. What I mean starter set is it is a full regimen for somebody.
Yep.
And just like I was saying on the live video, it's kind of like, okay, well, if somebody had to pick one, okay, you guys, well,
yeah.
like, oh, well, I only want to put eyeliner on one eye today. Okay, like that's not how you do your makeup. It's a full thing, right? And so this is what I want you guys to understand is this kit is a full skincare regimen. Okay, and it is for any skin type.
Even if we say it's complete, you know, instead of saying it's just a complete set.
I love that.
You're going to need everything in here to get it done. It's like who's going to shampoo their hair without conditioning it or detangling it? It's like it all goes together. Like I even love to share with my team sometimes. So if they're on this and they go, oh, well, the person said this doesn't work because I only have like fat fighters. And I'll go, well, it's more to losing weight than one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing in skincare. Like if you sell them complete, I get sometimes people like to break things apart, but if you sell them complete, then they get the results that they're looking for because everything is synergistically going together for a reason.
Yep. I love it. Okay. Gonna go through some questions. Could any of the new ingredients in our skincare irritate the skin if using it for the first time?
Yes, but let me tell you why. Because you could probably have an allergy. Like, don't think that it's just the first time use. Like, say, for instance, they're allergic to aloe. Then they would be irritated. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I like people to think of it. Don't think of one size fits all for everything because it's just not possible. Is it possible to be irritated? Yes. What we can do, so this is what I tell people. And this is just period, pre being in here, just as a beauty professional. What I am here for, and this is you being, don't think of yourself as, even though you actually are in sales, think of yourself as a consultant. What I am here for is to help you through this process. So say, for instance, you use this and you become irritated, I'm going to get you the answer for it. Whereas if, say, for instance, you go on Amazon and you make this purchase, you have no physical person to actually be able to talk to. So I'm going to be able to help. We're going to shift. We're going to change. If this is too oily, I'm going to give you another regimen on how to fix it. If it's perfect, we're going to leave it. But you have me here. But I like to say yes because, you know, we're in the land of everybody throwing stuff at you. And the moment you give somebody a claim, they hold you to it. And there's just no way. There's just no way. Could I get irritated from them using this? This is me on the phone. Tracy, can I get irritated from using this? Yes. But you can always not be irritated too. Like, I don't know. I don't know who I'm talking to over the phone. And they go, you're right. And I go, yeah, but let's try it.
Right. Okay. Next. Okay. So what about dark spots?
Okay. I was hoping that would be towards the end. Okay. So dark spots is one of those things that when we're talking, this is where the melanin starts to come on in, is because it depends on the amount of melanin. This is where it gets more tricky. What I would tell people is our chemical peel. A dark spot is really kind of in this, it's really in the skin. It's not something you're just rubbing it, and it's going to take time to remove a dark spot. So what people who have dark spots, because I have one dark spot, I'm not going to show it to everybody. It's one dark spot I've been working on now for about a month. It's not gone. And even too, on the first, I went and had a facial, and I'll talk to you about that in a second. I went and had a facial, and she was like, yeah, we're going to keep working on this area. Dark spots are more difficult. That's a specialty. We can use the peel on dark spots, though. So I want you to know that, if those who do not understand skincare. Facials and then using this to maintain our chemical peel would be excellent, because that's actually what I'm doing right now. For my dark spot. But dark spots take time. It's just like somebody who tells you, anybody ever met the person that wants to lose 30 pounds in 30 days? Yeah, that's what this sounds like in dark spots. Like, it takes some time. It does.
What about any of the like the skin ingestible stuff that we have? Like, would collagen help this? Would like maybe hair, skin, and nails, or is that more just like complexion?
Yeah, that's complexion and texture. Okay. This is one of those areas. That's why I'm glad we left it for the end. The dark spot is one of those where sometimes you just need a machine to. And that's what my specialty. Everybody is not fighting. The average person is not fighting dark spots. Everybody doesn't get them. That's a specialty thing. So you still need to, even if you have a dark spot, you still have to clean your face. You still have to hydrate your face. The hyaluronic acid would be great, but that's something right there that is not really, and this is just me being truthful, you would need, like for me, I love microdermabrasion and chemical peels together to get rid of them. They help, and then I use our product to maintain it and keep the process going. And then the next month, I come back and get another one, and it's constantly lightening the area.
Love that. Okay. Wrinkles.
Everything. Did you see my face? Everything. Lip and eye cream. Repair, radiance, protect. If you're concerned about wrinkles, you should be using the entire system. Okay. The entire system. Wrinkles is yes, there's an aging process. Remember I said you want to catch it before it happens, preventative. However, it's dry. The area, the wrinkly area, it's very, very dry. If you notice you're putting on makeup and it's really cakey, your skin is dry. You need to increase your water and then use hydrating products. If you're noticing that, put your hyaluronic acid right underneath where your wrinkles are in that area, and then use the moisturizer and watch that change. I can't wait to see some of these 6 weeks start to come through.
And that's another good reminder. Everybody should be right now taking their before pictures.
Yep, I am.
You are literally tripping if you do not have your before pictures taken.
And I will tell you this, one thing, you will become you're going to listen to all this information, but you're going to become a different believer when you see your own face change. You're going to be like, okay, let me let you see this. Let me show you how this happened. And it's more, beauty is one of those areas when people go into is that it's immediate gratification. Like weight loss takes a while, but cleaning your skin, getting hydrated, just looking extra beautiful and pretty, a little bit lighter, a little bit hydrated. Those are immediate areas. That's why the beauty industry is $1 trillion industry, because it's just that immediate gratification that people are going from. And I want you to understand,
it's not hard. It's not.
If you haven't used skin, you may hear, and I'm just going to tackle price right quick. I want you to know what you have is definitely more expensive than drugstore. However, when it comes to being comparable with, say, for instance, your Macy's up to your Nordstrom, you're you're below where you should be. I want you to know that. Like, it should not be this cost for what we're doing. Chamomile, aloe, green tea, all in one for one bottle. And you should research this. Maybe $60 to $80. In something of this name. Hyaluronic acid, what I used to use in one bottle was about $45. And this wasn't no discount plan. This is just every month you want it is $45. Again, facials. And this is dropping you on out, getting rid of blackheads. I will definitely talk to you about that. When you facials, it depends on the facial, but with the ingredient list that we have, you're looking at about $150 to $200 for that type of brightening facial, skin tightening facial. $150 to $200 is what you're looking for. So I want you to know where you're at, like why I got so excited, like, you're gonna sell me this for this? But if you're not used to it, you know what I'm saying? You're not used to it. You're going, $36 cleanser, I can go get me some $9. It's just not the same ingredient list.
Yeah. And I was telling her on the Facebook Live, is like, it's amazing how much we'll invest in makeup, but we won't invest in our skincare. And you're gonna have to live in the skin for the rest of your life.
The rest of your life.
Right. And so it's just important that you think about that. Because I mean, like she just said, like it's simple. This is simple.
Well, the makeup doesn't cover the texture of your skin. Like, have you ever, and this is not a funny statement, but have you ever seen somebody, they're very dry, like their makeup looks like paint.
What it reminds me of is like, the people that are on the beach, who live on the beach, that have literally laid out, it's like, crocodile skin. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. And like, that's what I'm saying. Some people's makeup looks like this. Mm-hmm. And they put the makeup on top of the tough texture where they would be needing radiance. Like, they need to calm that. Give more hydration to that skin so it looks better when it does have makeup on it. Yeah. Blackheads is another one of those. I'm glad last minute. Your pores need to be clean, so this helps to minimize. You're going to use your exfoliating peel to scrub. That will definitely help with blackheads. However, blackheads is another one of those things. It depends on how many blackheads or how deep they are. That's an extraction. So that's a specialty, just to let you know. And remember, I said this is your baseline complete set. Everybody is not in these specific areas. So that's something that's an extra area. If you have mild blackheads, yes. If you had a lot of blackheads, I would tell somebody you need to get a facial and then use our products to maintain the results from the facial. Because you have a lot of blackheads.
I love that. And here's the thing is, and I tell people this too, is like, when you can tell somebody you need our skincare, but I'm also going to recommend something else to you, they trust you more, because then
they do.
You're not trying to sell them something. You're trying to, like she said, be a consultant and helping them, right? You're not just, oh, I'm selling you this and I'm telling you you just need to use all of our products and that's going to, no. Because sometimes it's beyond it.
Yep. Can I share with y'all a short secret? I know we're getting closer to our end. A short secret, because I can get high BV all the time and people equate it to sales. And I'm like, let me tell you how. I give people options. I stay a consultant. Even though I'm a professional in my area, I stay a consultant to them. And so, say for instance, somebody only wants to spend $30, right? How I would go into that and I would say, okay, well, I can recommend this to you. However, I do feel that you need the full system. Here's the full system. Here's this individual. Here, you need to come back to having the full set. Maybe we start here so I can build our relationship, but I'm gonna let you know, I really feel that you're going to need the full system, but I'm here to do what you need me to do. This even just happened to me earlier today. And then she goes, when we were doing just weight loss, and then she goes, you know what, give me everything. So I'll say, okay, are we trying to get these results now, or do we want to get them later? Like, we can break this on up. Like, if you want to start out with just cleanse and see how that goes, and then next month do thermal fight and here, then that's fine. Or do you want to start now and then see that for the next 90 days and let them make the choice? You know what? I should have it. You know what? Or they, you know what? I just really want the cleanser. I don't need all the extra moisturizer. Okay, we can start here. I'm going to tell you, you will need moisturizer for your skin. It's a complete set. You will need to be able to do that. We can start with here, but what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to not hear from me that you're going to need both. See, people are scared to tell people the truth, thinking they're not going to say no, but when they hear you say that, and then they hear you say, now you tell me what you want me to do. What do you want me to do? And then they'll tell you, you know what, you're right. Just put the moisturizer in there. I'm like, great. And if next month we find you got extra moisturizer and you don't need it, we can take that off. And then guess what? If you find out you're drier and we need 2, we can add 2 too. I'm just the consultant. Think about when you're at a makeup counter, if you've never been. One thing I loved to do when I was at L'Oreal was take people to different places so they can have experiences. So you wouldn't see that you're off. If you go to a Macy's counter, that's what they do. Here, try this. What do you think? Here, try this. What do you think? Which one do you want? You're in the driver's seat, and you want to keep them in the driver's seat. They need to know you have the answers. And even if you don't, I can get them. You know what? That's a great question. Let me text somebody. See, people always go, don't you have a girl that you can go to for something? You know that they're going to, even if they don't know everything, you trust that they're resourceful. So in this environment, you want to be resourceful. You don't have to be an expert. They just have to know that they can trust you. And so when you refer them other things and you're not like, nope, you need this here. You need this here. People do not like to be controlled. So if they feel like you're making them, then they're like, nope. Now they want to over-research everything because, it has to be something else. So stay truthful, and then they'll start to trust you.
I love that. That's so good. And I feel like we could go on, and I've had people text me and they're like, I need a personal consultation for my
I
know. So no, I love it. And I have so many notes. And I'm so excited because I honestly already feel so much more confident, even providing those questions that I can ask. Because sometimes it's hard to know, what to ask somebody if they're like, okay, well, I want something to help my skin. And if you say, well, what are you currently using? I've never even thought to ask that. That's so big. But I never even thought to ask that. And even asking that for weight loss, are you currently using anything? Because they could be using something else that we don't even know about.
When I ask that question, they'll tell you. Yeah. You know what you're combating.
Yes. And it's so good. And then the other thing I want you to tell them, because this blew my mind, is when you told me about how you can have 1% biotin. And
okay. Yeah, this part ticked me out. So being that I worked in manufacturing, I learned, and this is now years ago, that even if something said, so you're going to hear people say, well, let me research that. And guess what? When people say, are they researching? I'll go, what are you researching? I just ask the question, what do you research? Are you trying to see if it's a cheaper price? Are you checking the ingredient? What is it? They are going to find something that's less expensive. But you can have 1% biotin in a product, and it can still say it has biotin. It is 100% legal. I don't even want to say the brand name because I feel like I'm going to kill. There is a very popular argan oil brand. If you guess it, I can say yes. So there's and it's expensive. It's a big bottle of argan oil. It only has it's $60 to $70. It only has 1% argan. Nope. It's glue. Okay. So it only has 1% argan. It's majority water. And it sells and it has that big, remember I told you, in our industry, it's the spout. And you go like this on it, and people are like, this is the best stuff ever. Not realizing girl, you don't need all that for your hair. You having to use it like lotion. It doesn't have the ingredient that it says. That's why you have to use so much. Now, I'll even tell you, here, just an additional lesson. Once things start getting diverted and going to the store, do you know that you get less of the product? That's it. Alana, Elena, I don't know how to say it. She just said the name. She just typed the name. That's it. And I went, are you kidding? Like our pure argan oil, just to even share with you, pure argan oil is a pea size. So if your hands are full of it, oh, you do hair. So if your hands are full of it, it's majority water. So what I like to tell people, one thing that I love about our product is it's soluble. So if you put it in water, you'll see it dissolve. That's what it's going to do into your system. A lot of these things stay in full pill format. They never break down. They don't have the full amount. It's all these extra gelatins and all the extra things that are on the product. So then they can sell it for less expensive. Now, I don't do name drops because then people don't trust you with that. Oh, we're better than, you see how I wouldn't even say the company. No, I'm like, while you're researching, research this. You know, so if you're looking at price, let's make sure we're comparing apples to apples, not apples to oranges. Like, do not compare this to Neutrogena. That has grapefruit, that has salicylic acid, that's not this, that's not green tea, that's not chamomile, that's not aloe. Make sure we get me a product that has chamomile, aloe. And I like to say that, and they're like, you know what? I didn't think of it that way. So that's why asking questions will help you know what you're refuting. You know, when they say something, I want to research it. What are you researching? Well, I want to research the ingredient list. Well, let me share it with you.
Yep. And I love this. And you guys, this gives you such good things that you know how you can do your homework now, right? Like she knows, Tracey knows what chamomile does, what green tea does, what aloe does to your skin. Now you guys, it's on Google. You know,
it's on, it's right in your fingertips. Yes.
so right, you know what those things are doing, because a lot of times it's like, oh, like, you know, I mean, I've definitely been overwhelmed when somebody's been like, oh, you need chamomile, and I'm like, what the heck is that? But if they say this, because this will help calm your skin, then I understand it, right?
Yes.
Like the name doesn't mean anything to me until you put the meaning to the name. And so that's why I want you guys, that's why we are on here, right? We're telling you guys, this is what you need to recommend, right? Chamomile calms your skin. Green tea plumps it. I've learned all this tonight, by the way. Tracey's educated me, but I'm like,
he was sitting earlier like, yeah.
Yeah, but literally, like, those are things that you can do. And now we have a better perspective because I know how to talk to a customer that doesn't know anything, because I didn't know anything either. So make sure you also take advantage from not being the expert by being able to communicate even more effectively, because you also you were just there, you know, just like me. So Tracey, I cannot thank you enough. This was so good. If you enjoyed this, put one in the comments, because I know this was super helpful for me, and just understanding like what we have our hands on, because I think so often we think, you know, well, this is just a cleanser. Well, but we don't get the value. We don't understand it. We just don't understand, holy crap, there's so much value in the products that we're providing and helping people. Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome.
This was
yes, this was dope. Pair this with collagen and reds. Dope.
No, we'll all look like you. We'll all look like
collagen and antioxidants. Like, dope. Take your openness and throw these in there. Even hydrate.
And cleanse.
Like, yeah, like you'll be clear.
I'm so excited. I'm about to send you my before and after pictures too, and be like,
I know. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be looking. I'm watching the challenges because I plan on like really, really using them. Because I already know what it's going to do if people really stick to a regimen and actually use it. 6 weeks is enough to see a difference.
Love it. Well, I love you. Thank you so much for spending time educating us. We love you.
Not a problem, ladies.
Bye,
have a great night. Bye-bye.